Last video, we pulled Sparky, our high-mileage BMW E36 M3 out of winter storage. We talked about our plans to drive her up to 300,000 miles and some things that we need to fix more immediately. In classic BMW fashion, during that video, the check engine light, unfortunately, came on.
Bruh.
Our dreaded P1519 code that is all too familiar to us and this car. So today we're going to talk about what is P1519, why has it been a constant issue, did it come back, and later this video, we're gonna go to a BMW Cars and Coffee and look at some other awesome BMWs, because it's been too long since I've talked with a bunch of BMW owners. We need to catch up on things like coolant expansion tanks, and water pumps, and coolant, and oil. Let's get started. Let's talk about our check engine light. Now, as you may notice, the check engine light is currently off on our M3. Now, you might be thinking, did I just clear it for this video? And while I can understand why you would maybe think that, because it would be really funny if I did. No, I did not just clear the check engine light. Ever since that video, it has not come back. Now, I haven't driven the car a ton, maybe 50 miles max, and one time the check engine light did stay off for a couple hundred miles. So today we're driving it, I don't know, probably almost a couple hundred miles. So I would say if it stays off by the end of this video, then the check engine light, like, I would say we're probably good. So what the check engine light was a code for P1519. Now P1519 is a timing related code, which some people call the stuck Vanos code. We talked more about it in the video where we fixed the Vanos on this car, or more specifically fixed the incorrect camshaft timing that I set because I didn't know how to do it properly. So yeah, our code P1519, we did fix it, and then last video it came back, unfortunately. And not only did it come back, even after I cleared it, something just didn't feel right about the engine. Since then, I've done multiple startups, and not only does the check engine light not come back, but all of our torque also returned, which is what I was missing and why I thought there was a problem. Oh, we're gonna make this. Nothing like some quick maneuvers on a Saturday morning on your way to a BMW Cars and Coffee. But yeah, our P1519 has not come back. Now, other than the check engine light just going off, we did do some tests because we're very scientific here at M-Tech. One of the tests we did was an oil pressure test. So let me explain why we did that. The Vanos, since it's an oil pressure control system, is controlled by oil pressure. So we wanted to test the engine oil pressure to make sure that the Vanos system wasn't somehow getting starved via low oil pressure. A little precursor to this, earlier this year, or last year now, sorry, it's 2025, I installed an Achilles Motorsport oil pickup tube. Now, I don't want to bash Achilles Motorsport, but I had a bit of a disagreement with them, and I was a little concerned about the pickup tube I received. Fortunately, the engine oil pressure read good, so the pickup tube's fine, and we don't need to pull the oil pan off, but there's a little concern there for a minute. Yeah, we hooked up an oil pressure gauge, and we went on the road, and we were just watching the gauge while the car was driving, which is really funny. You guys like your little active G meter down there? We're gonna get blocked by traffic. Rats. This is always a fun on-ramp to take too. So we did an oil pressure test. That read okay. So we verified that at least the engine's getting good enough oil pressure. So, you know, it's not grenading itself apart. There is a little dummy light that tells you when the oil pressure is too low, but that only tells you, I think it trips on at 7 psi, which is danger zone at idle, but your engine could still be making half the correct oil pressure and the light would not come on. Then we took a computer to it and verified the cam timing is still okay. So the fix that we did in that other video was not for nothing. Everything in this interior is rattling right now. It's bothering me, which we talked about in that initial video we did. All the interior rattles in this car. You know, it's kind of some of the character of the E36 platform is how many squeaks, rattles, and impurities there are. But it is what it is. In other news for this car, we threw back on the Dynon intake. I do have to apologize to Turner. I do like your intake, but it doesn't fit very well with the European headlights. The Dynon intake doesn't fit great either, but it fits a lot better than the Turner one does, where the headlights are very obviously out of whack. We're going to be on the road for a little while now, so I think we will cut to next time something interesting happens. Maybe a stop and a pull, maybe the car show. I'm not sure yet, so we'll do one of these. Woohoo! Yeah, so far so good. We've been on the road for 30 something miles, and we also just did a really hard pull, and no more check engine light. I'm feeling good about this, guys. Also pretty awesome to drive this car on a long trip like this again. I haven't really taken this thing out on a long trip. Even like last season before I put it away, I kind of stopped driving it. Because a lot of the issues started piling up that were just bothering me. So I'm sure by the end of this video, all the rattles and the steering wheel vibration and all that stuff's gonna bother me. But as of right now, it's not bothering me a ton yet. I'm having a good old time. Oh, look at this. You know, that right there is one of the reasons I love this car. You can have fun with things like that in normal day-to-day road occurrences, and you're not really breaking the law. You can have fun on the road in normal occurrences that you just can't in a faster car. Like even the E39 M3, which I tout as being one of the best cars ever made, and like it's, well, as they say on the Doug DeMiro podcast, God's Chariot, which I think is hilarious. Because it kind of is. You know, the E39 M3 is still a very fast car, 400 horsepower in that thing. And anytime you get something like that, you can kind of ring out third, but top of third, and you're going exactly the speed limit. But in this car, you can ring out third, kind of touch fourth a little bit, and still be going exactly the speed limit in Mexico on a closed course. So I'm in an awkward situation right now. See, I have a bunch of trucks behind me, and normally what I would do is get over in the right lane. Except that lane is horrible. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up, but that lane is easily one of the worst lanes in Michigan. It's like bub, 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 bub. So I don't want to hop over, but they're behind me and I don't want to slow them down, so I have to speed up. Fortunately, it looks like somebody in front of me will block me. Therefore, I have a justifiable excuse to be going slow and holding up cars behind me. Welcome to America, the land of the free, corn on the cob, and bad drivers. Now, a word from our sponsor, Turner Motorsport and ECS Tuning. Turner Motorsport and ECS Tuning are helping us find good parts at affordable prices for our high mileage BMW project car. Whether you need genuine OE or aftermarket parts, Turner Motorsport and ECS Tuning have got you covered. Click the link in the description down below to support the vendors that support the channel you're watching right now. Alright, you guys want to see a cool magic trick that you won't learn in school? Yeah, see, the environmentalists say that gas cars are bad for the environment, but look, I'm getting unlimited fuel economy right now. What do they have to say to that? At like 3,800 to 4,000 RPM, the S52 just has the coolest sounding, like, I don't know what you call it, like hum. Hum, I think is the right word to describe. Just the way the resonance. Here, I'll do it again. It has a really cool sound at that RPM. Just like really old school E30s, I think, and older BMWs, like E28s, you know, the M20 and the M30 engine are really notorious for that. They have this great like hum, and then they sort of climax and they scream right up top, which have a very raw and sort of in-your-face sound. This hum is a lot more refined. You know, this is the 24 valve versus 12 valve engine. It's a lot smoother, less clattery. I'm a big audiophile when it comes to cars. I love the sound of a car. The sound of a car will make or break a car for me. And like, I'd even sacrifice a little bit of performance, efficiency, reliability, this and that, whatever, if it makes a beautiful sound. Right, enough rambling. I think we are going to now cut to the car show. We're about 100 miles into our travels for the day, which is over the halfway point. I think by the end of today, we'll be at, I don't know, 160, 170 on the trip odometer. The rattles are now getting on my nerves. So earlier they were a little bit, but now they're like, all right, now I'm bothered by them. But the big question is, did the check engine light come back? And as you can see, it did not. So check engine light is still off. I think at this point, it's probably gonna stay off. But you know what, we got another 50, 60 miles to go. We'll see how she does. Check engine light did not come back. 160 miles of solid driving today. Hard and normal driving, highway, city, all of that. Didn't come back on, so I'm pretty confident that the check engine light is going to stay off at this point. So the question still remains, are we going to have a rocky trip up to 300,000 miles? I don't know yet. We'll probably find out in maybe a few more videos. But there we go. Check engine light stayed off. Car still has other problems, but we're gonna fix those. Stay tuned for all the future videos with Sparky, our high mileage E36 M3. But with all that said, everybody, take care and have a nice day. Oh, also like and subscribe. Do that.